Yeah. Hey guys, Jeff with Westcott Designs. So I've got a good story. These folks are here from a long ways. Mike and his wife Kelly. Anchorage, Alaska, right?
Right, yeah, just outside of Anchorage, a little town called Eagle River.
Okay, so I heard about this. I wasn't here when the car got dropped off, so I didn't know the whole story. So Mike and Kelly come in today to pick up their car. We've had it for what, about a month?
Yeah, almost.
Yeah, and so now we're gonna have them kind of tell us their story and how this all worked out. You bought the truck here locally.
Yeah, bought it locally. I've been a Toyota fan for a little over a decade. Got a 2012 Tundra, and I knew I wanted a new one. And so I started looking around for the package that I wanted and calling dealerships, right? I just happened to find a dealership here in Phoenix that had the one that I wanted coming in on allocation. And then I knew that I had to modify it. It just didn't look right stock. And so I started looking for what I wanted to do, and Westcott Designs came up first. And I looked at a bunch of others, but I just kept coming back to your site. The quality of the work, how everything fit, the attention to detail, and it seemed like you treated your customers well. So then I found out you were in Phoenix. So it was like, meant to be.
So you
flew in
to the
bought
airport,
the truck.
got the truck at Bell Road Toyota,
Drove it
4
4 or 5 miles here,
okay.
dropped it off and flew home.
And flew back up to
And
Anchorage.
now we're here to pick it up, and
Okay.
we're gonna drive it up to Seattle and put it on a boat. And,
Now, how long from Seattle will it take to get?
3.5 days.
3.5 days.
Yeah.
Wow. And you're okay with all this?
Absolutely.
It's her plan.
Okay.
I was gonna drive it through Canada, and
Really?
that's
Yeah, I was like,
3
oh.
days,
Yeah.
driving through Canada to get to Alaska. And she's like, nah, just put it on the boat.
And you have a 4Runner?
I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll have to work on that next.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Baby.
So yeah, I mean, just crazy story. Like I was like, oh, I absolutely have to do something with you guys on this. I just like I was like, wait, did I hear this right? And they said yes, and I couldn't believe it. So,
Yeah.
I have to say this is probably the farthest. I don't know, maybe the distance from there to Maui. I don't know, or maybe over New Jersey. We had a guy that was down from Ontario, Canada.
Right.
He's made that journey twice now.
Yeah. It's a long way.
When he was coming the second time, I was wondering, did we make a mistake or something we have to fix? And
He drove all the way back to get
he
something.
drove back down to get some other stuff done, and we've
awesome.
had a couple that was here a couple weeks ago. They were out from South Dakota, North Dakota, North or South, I don't remember, but they were here in August, and then they came back to get more stuff done on their Sequoia. So I thought that was pretty cool.
That's when you know you're doing good work, when people are coming from all over
I
the place.
I don't know. There's some people who would beg to differ and say, but obviously we do the best we can. We do make mistakes. I unfortunately have to say that, but we're human, and I guess that happens. You just try to minimize those mistakes.
Absolutely.
And focus a little more on attention to detail, and that's kind of one of the things that we really try to do. And
That's what I loved, like on your rock sliders. When I was talking to Tommy, he's like, well, do you want the MIG or do you want the TIG? And I'm a TIG welder, right? I spend time under the hood, and I know what it looks like. And I was like, oh yeah, that's what we want. So just that extra detail, the fact that you even have an option there, it really speaks to that level of craftsmanship and detail.
I kind of always was like, okay, the extra time that's involved in making these versus the MIG, I'm like, is it worth it? And
It's
I'm
worth
like,
it.
because there's so much time more. It's almost 3 times as much because you got to weld them twice
Yeah.
to build these versus the MIG welded ones. But there really aren't anybody else out there that's taking the time to build TIG welded ones because it's not really cost effective.
Yeah.
But I look at it this way: when I look at the quality and the like you said, the craftsmanship and just how nice the welds are, with all that, for me, it's important. And then, like the way the design is, and
then you
stuff.
put your name on it, right? Like that's a big deal,
Well-
right? Like when we got in the truck, and Kelly goes, Mike, did you see it says Westcott Designs on the runners? And I was like, yeah, I saw that. Like,
So
that's
actually,
cool.
the kick-out ones do not have our name on them.
Yeah. They're very
So someone asked me, they're like, well, you should put your name on them because you should show that. And I'm
Yeah,
like, I guess
yeah.
you're right. So that is something we're actually in the process of doing now, is putting our name in the rear kickouts in them. But like a lot of the styling and design that went into this was all based off of the arches in the door, the imprint here and here, and then meeting up where it actually meets the bedside in the back, and the angle actually matches the corner of the bed there. So when you stand down over it, it just really kind of ties itself in. And from where the tubes all tie in together, we wanted to bring the support all the way out to the corners. So we did that to tie that into the frame plates, and we wanted to kind of make them so they bolted in and just really accented the vehicle and looked like they belonged on the vehicle. That's kind of the whole way our brand's been built, is everything we do, we want you to question, did it come from the factory that way?
Yeah.
You know, could it have come from the factory that way? You know, with our lift kits and everything like that. And then trying to keep the ride quality as close as possible. You know, it's a factory. I know a lot of guys will be like, oh, their lift kit doesn't ride right, it doesn't ride this. And there's a lot that goes into it. You know, I tell people it's the tires you pick for your vehicle. You know, these trucks that people don't think about is they had a passenger car tire on them from the factory. It really was not a truck tire. So to take that and put a passenger car tire and then go up into a full truck tire, and not only just a truck tire, but a 3/4 ton or a 1 ton truck tire, that's like, you know, 10 ply or 12 ply, which is way overkill. Even the 10 ply is overkill for these trucks because they just don't need it. The truck weighs 6,014 pounds, so it really doesn't need a heavy truck tire. Really an 8 ply tire does these things just fine. So I always tell everybody, you know, get a tire that works. That like these are really good all-terrain tires. They ride really nice. They look really good. And for the most part, you don't lose the ride that you had. Yes, but the truck now, you said it transformed the car from a truck. And what you said, you were up in Salt Lake and you saw one?
Yeah. We were probably in 22, just driving around. And I had been thinking about getting a new Tundra for a while, but when I saw them, I was just kind of uninspired. I was like, you know, the nose is a lot longer, and they seemed lower to the ground, and it looked more like a street truck than what I was used to with my 2012 Rock Warrior. And so I was kind of debating, do I go with another Tundra? And we saw this white one that was, it wasn't super jacked up. It had a lift like this with some bigger tires, and it just looked nice. It could have been your stuff, but I was like, okay, that looks great. If I'm gonna get it, that's what I'm gonna do. So, and then showing up here today and seeing it and the titanium methods with the gray on the truck and the rock sliders, just when I walked up to it, it was like, okay, that just elevated the whole thing, you know. And it felt like I was driving a bigger truck when I drove it. We took it on a little spin.
When we put the wheels on it, like at first I thought it'd be like kind of a clash, and I wasn't sure that the two colors would look so good together. But then once the wheels went on the truck, and then looking at the center caps, how just the variation of the grays in there now ties in with that. I thought, you know, it looks really, really good with that.
Yeah, I mean, that's Tommy. That was his idea to put those center caps in.
It does. It has all the bead lock, the fender flares, the colors, the grays, and just the tones of it really look really cool. I mean, to me, I was like, wow, this truck really looks good. And this started out as a 1794.
Right.
You know, he had the chrome on it.
Took care of that.
Obviously debadged that, did some clear bra and some protection along the bottom of the car as well. So now, like, taking that off, it just really cleans up the vehicle. And then we did our lift kit in this, 35s on this, did our rock sliders on it, did wheels and tires. We did the Tierney Pro grill. This is a 18 by 9, correct, with a plus 18 offset.
Right.
So just a little bit outside the wheel well, but then, like we talk about all the time, the scrub radius or the turning radius in the fender just makes for a lot more room. And if you do decide to take it off road, you know, pinning back the fender liner, you know, I see people, they cut those out. We try to make it look like it has a factory fastener in there, so when you look in the fender, you don't know that it didn't come like that.
That's the other thing. I've watched so many videos over the last couple months, and I just it's so clean. It looks like it came from the factory that way.
Yeah, you know, and it's important to us, and you know, obviously I wanted to talk to you guys and do this video with you guys because I'm just like, wow. I mean, it means a lot that you guys are willing to do this, and then the fact that you're making a road trip on the way home out of it, and your wife's on board with it.
It's going to be fun.
So
we wanted the best of the best, so that's why we came here.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Mike.
We'll be back.
Kelly. Thank you. Yeah, thanks again, guys, for watching. Hope you guys enjoy this, and if you do, we'd love to hear from you. Thanks so much. Take care.